Your company is positioning itself at lots of different layers of what is happening in artificial intelligence. The mainstay of that is a relationship with both AWS and Microsoft, the two kind of cloud leaders in the space. Just explain what you're doing.
Yeah, here's what's going on these days. If the last decade or two was about the Internet of People, this decade for sure is about the Internet of Things. And Siemens has deep domain knowledge. Now you think about all of the classic tech companies who've worked in the fields of AI, bringing this to bear, and others like NVIDIA who are bringing high processing power into the field. We're partnering with companies who have those superpowers and focusing those technologies on the domains we understand so well. Yeah.
Let's get to the AWS component, because what you're effectively saying is you're taking one of your technology platforms and marrying it with Bedrock, which we've covered on this program deeply for a while now. How does it work?
Yeah, so think about the need for people to embed AI programs into their operations. With AWS components, AI components, now with Siemens low-code Mendix, normal people like us, we're democratizing technology. We have the ability to use point and click, very intuitive interfaces to put together our own programs.
And Microsoft is a part of that as well. What is the difference in the relationships?
Yeah, they've got slightly different focus areas. With Microsoft, we recently announced the Industrial Copilot. Now imagine you want to reprogram the controls that you have in a manufacturing environment. You now have the ability with the Industrial Copilot to actually interface with natural language to write the programs. So now I really think what we're going to be able to do is bring more and more people into the fields of engineering. Let me tell you about one more.
Sure.
Sony just announced their exclusive arrangement with us, working with Siemens software through the Accelerator platform, creating an industrial engineering VR headset. We're bringing the industrial metaverse to life. And everybody has talked about what's the true value of the metaverse. Well, here is the proof point. The ability for engineers to actually meet in a common area from wherever and to use the intuitive interfaces that they know from gaming in order to interact and create, develop new things.
I want to bring it back to the real world. Roland Bush, the global CEO, spoke to us last year when you announced a more than $500 million infrastructure investment in the US.
That's right.
The idea is that you want to be a part of the supply chain for the data center providers, the semiconductor supply chain as well. What is it that you can give them? How are you helping them?
So Siemens creates the technology that combines the real and the digital world, all those things that sit right at the edge. And what does it take to bring AI into the world? We need data centers capable of handling that. How do you build data centers? It requires a ton of electricity. So the electrical switchgear that powers those data centers, then turn it around. How do you embed what's being developed into the technology we have in the industrial space? So that $500 million investment has actually put new switchgear manufacturing in Texas, and it's put new rail manufacturing in North Carolina.
I know you've been meeting with a number of government officials while you've been here. On that investment specifically, how big a factor was the IRA in convincing Siemens that this was a good project? What
Siemens has seen is that customers everywhere are choosing to come to the U.S. and invest. You've seen the data on the CHIPS and Science Act, $52 billion of government investment. That's a down payment. So far, well over $250 billion have already been committed by the private sector.
Which Siemens divisions are going to benefit the most from this AI boom? And is there anything missing, and I'm talking M&A, that you've got to go shopping for?
Oh, this is the most exciting sector in tech today. Think about it. You know, everyone has thought about industry and infrastructure as being relatively disconnected, relatively analog. All of that is becoming digital. We build those common tools that today apply to industry, infrastructure, transportation, healthcare. Investors ought to be asking, what else could this do? How do we bring value into the real world?